Hello everybody, welcome to Hunty's World of Pain, World of Pain. The Von Hennig Gambit. We're about to enter Von Hennig Hell. This is a 10-minute rapid game, and it took me, to my shame, over 30 seconds to beat my opponent by checkmate. Spoiler alert, off we go. Okay, it continues to amaze me actually that at this intermediate level, how many Caro-Kann players don't know what to do here. I mean, I've never played the Caro-Kann, so I don't know, but geez, I mean, you'd have thought that they would have met this a few times, but it continues to be an absolute lethal injection, bro. Okay, so this is the Caro-Kann defense. All very nice, all very positional, all very calm, a bit like the French. Anyway, so we continue with knight c3, they take the pawn, and at this point I've used all of 3 seconds. Okay. And so what we're expecting here, the most common move is for the knight to come out and defend this pawn that is under attack and currently undefended. Fair enough. They throw in this bizarre looking b5 move, which kind of leaves a bit of a backward pawn here, but it's no trouble, you just drop the bishop back anyway, and the point is that we want our bishop staring down at Freddy on f7, and now we continue in normal fashion. I've used now 6 seconds, and the knight comes out to defend the pawn, we push f3, so I'm literally holding the pawn, and I'm staring at the f6 square, so if a knight appears out, I just boom, release the mouse. Okay, they take the pawn, I pre-moved the recapture, we're still on 7 seconds used on the clock, and out flies the bishop. Happy days. Suddenly the eval jumps from 0.4 in black's favour to, oh dear, 2.5 in favour of white. And we have a couple of, I mean, you could still play the oh no my queen. Knight e5 actually it's a quarter of a pawn different, guys. That's all it is. Quarter of a pawn different. And if they capture your queen, then it's checkmate on the spot with bishop takes f7. If they do anything else, then we know what to do. I've made enough videos about this one. But this is a slight variation. So anyway, the slightly more accurate line is bishop takes f7 check. The king must take. The only other legal move is to run away there, and why? Why would you even do that? Okay, so king takes, knight e5 check, wins the bishop. And the king has a few options. I mean, obviously he can't go here, he'd still be in check. He can't stay where he is. He's got 3 reasonable options, but one of them is more dangerous than all the others, even though it looks safe and it feels safe, but it ain't. It ain't the smartest. King g8, and now we lick our lips. Okay, you have to take the bishop with the knight, don't take it with the queen, you'll blunder your queen, and out comes the queen. So now we're threatening, dun dun dun, mate in 1. Oh dear. So queen d7 prevents that, and tries to trade queens, that's his best option. Queen d6, similar, prevents the queen from coming here, so either of these 2 squares is kind of okay. The next best option, which isn't great, is h6, giving the king an escape square. What does our opponent do? None of the above. g6. And now, queen e6 check is the best move. The king is forced to g7. And now the computer says we should castle. Queen e5 is also okay. I play queen e5. King goes back there, and now I castle. Alright, now queen e8 apparently. Not the most natural looking move. I don't know. But remember, I've also got a bishop here that's ready to fly into the action. Oh, how much time have we used? 32 seconds. Lordy. Bishop g7. Let's chase the queen away. But, oh dear. Queen e6 is checkity mate. Because the rook now, since we castled, covers that only square. But wow. I'll tell you what, just for giggles, let's have a look on the Liege Chess Explorer at the intermediate level and see how well the Von Hennig Gambit does against the general public. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time to come up. Okay, what are our settings? 1800, 2000, 2200, right? Let's drop it down a little bit. I'll do 1400 to 1800. So this is just like below my level. So you're looking at 1300 to 1500 maybe on chess.com, in chess.com money. And we'll play the first few moves. Le Caro-Kann. And out comes the knight. Right, let's look at the most common ones, by the way. And white does slightly better than black here, which is to be expected. The computer, by the way, says that at this point, well, after this move, okay, so knight takes is the most common move, and that's pretty good. F3 is very reasonable. This is like, you know, Black Mardima style or Geertz Peters if you play that against the French defense. Bishop c4 does 51%. Bishop c4. What's the most common move? I bet you it's knight f6. Knight f6 by some distance, 51%. The second most common is this, and there we played the same thing, right? We go for the takes and stick our knight on there. Knight f6 is the most common move. Still only 52% here for us. And now f3, right? So when white knows what he's doing, f3, and we're winning 60% of the time now, right? And again, what is the most common move? E takes f3, 71% of the time. Boom. And obviously we capture with... I mean, recapturing with the queen just makes no sense, because what's the queen doing out in the board at that point? Queen takes f3 is actually better for black. Black wins 55%. We take with the knight. And now... go... Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. 44.9% of the time... they will think, aha, I spy with my little eye something beginning with P. And they come out and they pin your knight. And we simply win 76% of the time after bishop takes f7, right? Knight e5 wins 79% of the time, the oh no my queen variation. Right? But that's probably, I mean, what time formats are we looking at? We're looking at blitz upwards, blitz and longer. We haven't even got bullet in here. So, oh no, my queen line does really, really well. So anyway, bishop takes f7 is the more forcing. Obviously, king takes. King d7, for goodness sake. 225 people thought that just not capturing the bishop must be a good idea. And they lose 96% of the time from there. Okay, obviously, it's got to be all knight e5 check. Wow. Yeah, well, knight e5 check 99.2% of the time, we're winning 76%. 43 people decided that knight g5 check might be a good idea, and most of them lost with the white pieces. So we go here. Now, most common move, king e8, back to his starting place, right? 71% for white. King g8 is the one that we just saw, okay, with a slightly different, we had an extra pawn out, didn't we? We wasted a move there, everyone. King g8 wins 80% of the time, and the other one, king e6, has been played. I mean, it's the third most common move, but it's been played 1 in 200 games, right? So that don't really count. But king here is worse. Okay, we had this move. Obviously, we take the bishop with a knight, not with a queen. Oh, 12 people thought that the queen took was a good idea. You get this far, and then you blunder your queen. And guess what? Guess what? Even though black is compromised, he's already lost his f-pawn. He's already lost castling rights. And his king is cowering and shivering and shaking in the corner there. But still black thinks, I'll tell you what, let's open up the board a bit. At least I might get a pawn back without realising that after queen takes, 87, the pawn's actually still defended by the queen. Okay, what do we see here? Most common moves, knight d7, queen d7. Okay, well, knight d7 just blunders mate. Knight d7, you just come here and it's mate, yeah? Exactly. So knight d7 doesn't work. Yet, out of just over 2,000 games, that's been played 511 times. Quarter of the time, guys, quarter of the time, they'll blunder mate in 1 here. Okay, next most common move, queen d7 or queen d6. So let's say queen d7 is played. What do? We probably castle. No, queen f3, queen e4, queen f4. Let's look at these. Yeah. So you just basically get your queen onto one of these squares. Then we'll probably castle and crack on. But really, from here, white wins 77% of the games. King's kind of offside. This rook is out of the game. He is benched, mate. Right? Black has no f-pawn and an isolated e-pawn. We could even, if we want, you know, after we move the queen, we could even like develop the bishop and, long castle. Get the rook behind the pawn. It's really, honestly, I don't get it. I don't get it. We're playing for black is playing all the most common moves here and getting his ass handed to him. So I think that's, loving it, absolutely. Look, just for giggles at this point in time, let's bang it up. Let's just bang it up. Humour me here. I'm going to look at 2,000, 2,200, 2,500. We're going to look at the higher range now on Lichess. And we're going to see what happens at the higher range, because that's what you should do as you get stronger, right? Yes, we play f3 from here. What do they play? Do they take it? Yeah, they do. 59% of the time they take it. We take back with the knight. And we're still winning 59%, guys. And we're not talking about, this is no, like, sideline here. This is 55,000 games from this point, right? But the most common move now from the stronger players is e6. Bishop f5 comes in at number 2. Bishop g4. Bishop g4, more than 1 in 4 times, right? But at this point, they're starting to twig. But still, 1 in 4 of them will do this. 1 in 4 of them will do this, and then bishop takes f7. Again, we're winning 73% from this point, and happy days. Again, the king just has to take. There's nothing else for it. And where do they move the king? King e8. Wow, and then king g8, only just behind. Only just behind. Nearly half the time, and they still lose 47%. So it's absolutely evil. It's absolutely evil. It's Hunty's World of Pain Hall of Fame time for the Von Hennig Gambit. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you later.